welcome, and thank you so much for deciding to join me on the mat today. For those who don't know me yet, my name is Lillian. I'm very, very grateful that you're here today, that you decided to show up for yourself, that you decided to take some time to be present, especially since it is the beginning of a new year of 2025. So yeah, with this in mind, I wanted to create a flow today that's all about being open for the new, allowing for new beginnings to be there. And for that, we also have to trust in ourselves. We have to find that stability and strength within ourselves to be open for the new. So yeah, I decided to create a flow all around that. I hope you enjoy. And I would say, before we begin, just one last thing. Always know that you know your body best, so really try and embrace yourself in this flow. Try to see how your body feels today. Every single day is different. So I'm always just giving suggestions. If you feel like changing it up a little, if you feel like using different alternatives, I'll always try to cue different alternatives. But if you know your body well, please feel free to adjust the flow to the way that feels good for you. And really listen. There's nothing that needs to happen today. There's nothing that, our bodies are different every single day. So like some days you might feel like, oh, today I'm feeling really good. I feel like super strong and super flexible. I'm doing all the things. And some days you might not feel like that. And that's also okay. So by practicing yoga, we're not just doing the physical practice. I think it's mainly a practice of the mind and for the soul. So through moving with our bodies, we're connecting body, mind, and soul. We're working with our body, with our mind, and with our soul. And we have to honor that. We have to find, or like, for me at least, I feel like yoga brings you that acceptance of like, I'm tuning in with myself. I'm accepting the situation or the present moment that I'm in right now. And I'm working with that. I'm not working against it. I'm really trying to embrace it and work with that. So I encourage you today to try and do the same. Try and really embrace the present moment today. See how you're feeling today and see how far you want to go today. And with that said, I would say let's begin. Just try to find a comfortable seat on the ground here. You can also sit on a block if you like. Just try to find a comfortable seat where you can lengthen your spine, lower down your shoulders, open up your heart space. And if you want to, I invite you to slowly close your eyes here, relax your hands either on your thighs or next to you, whatever feels more comfortable. And just start to take a couple of deep breaths here through the nose. Trying to really observe every single breath that you're taking here, bringing you into the present moment. Finding that relaxation, finding that presence. There's nothing that needs to happen right now. No thought that needs to enter your mind. No tension that needs to be in your body. Just try to find that calm. With a new year, we have maybe a lot of intentions, a lot of things that we want to embrace for the new year, that we want to change in the new year, or maybe that we want to continue to deepen. So I invite you to just think about one thing that you would like to set your intention to. Finding that strength, that trust within yourself that you can do it, whatever it may be. And just breathing into that, one more deep breath. On your next inhale, slowly reach both arms all the way up towards the sky. Taking both hands together in front of our heart space. 2 more times like this. Deep inhale. We lengthen and exhale. Come down. 1 more time. Deep inhale. We reach up. We seal that intention between our hands. Bring it towards the heart space. And exhale. From here, we're going to interlace our hands. We're going to place them behind our neck, behind our back of the head. With each inhale, we're gonna open up the front. We're gonna look up towards the sky, really feel that opening in the shoulders, in the heart space, in the chest. And exhale, we're gonna round our spine, our neck. Find that length in the back of your neck. Inhale, we open up again. And exhale. Finding that balance between opening up for new and closing, protecting ourselves. Finding expansion on the one side and then finding expansion on the other side. One more time. And slowly coming all the way back to center, interlacing your hands again in front of you and just starting to make big circles here with our wrists. Maybe even an infinity movement here, just warming up the wrists a little bit, changing directions. Might feel a little bit weird. Slowly releasing the hands, placing one hand down onto the ground. Other arm reaches up. We inhale here, we find the length. And exhale, we slowly bend that elbow. Finding length into one of our sides, breathing into that side, into that space. And maybe finding opening and closing the upper hand and just feeling that difference between a closed and an open hand. Feeling that, that push and pull in your arms basically. Slowly coming all the way back to center, releasing the other arm down and slowly breathing into that other side. Finding that length, trying to keep both seating bones on the ground. And if you want to, slowly opening and closing that hand again, warming up every single muscle here in our hands. Gently releasing all the way down and finding your way into all fours position. Trying to keep the shoulders above the wrists, the hips above the knees. And just starting with a very simple cat and cow movement. Opening up the front with our inhale and rounding the back with our exhale. Deep inhale and exhale. Really trying to move with your own breath here. Following that wave in your spine, all the way from the tailbone, all the way up towards your neck. And to change it up a little bit, you can either just keep doing this movement, or you can start to really move your body fully in circles in any kind of direction that works for you. Also changing directions here. Just really feeling into that body of yours. How does it feel today? How do you feel today? And from here, we're slowly gonna come towards the back with our butt, with our hips. We're gonna release down into our child's position. On your next inhale, we round the spine. We come all the way up. We make one big circle with our hips and our wrists. We come all the way back. Inhale, we round the spine. One big circle in the other direction. And we come back. 2 more times. Feeling that movement in the wrists, in the hips, in the shoulders. And really just allowing that body to move. Allowing the joints to come up. From here, we're slowly going to release our hips down and just rock a little bit from side to side, engaging the core a little bit, feeling that length of the front side. And slowly coming all the way down onto our belly. We're gonna keep our hands underneath the shoulder. On the next inhale, we roll the shoulders back. We lift ourselves up into baby cobra. Exhale, we come down. Inhale, we come all the way back up. Engaging the lower back here. And release. One more time, we come up. Option to also lift the hands off the ground, really feeling the back working here. That strength. And slowly come all the way back. Push yourself all the way up. And back to child's pose. One deep breath here. Really feeling that length in the lower back here. Coming back to our balasana, our safe pose that you are always welcome to come back to. Creating that feeling of safety, of stability. From here, slowly coming all the way into all fours. We're going to tuck the back toes and then slowly lift the knees off the ground, really pushing our hands strong into the mat, feeling the engagement of the core here. Just staying here for one more breath. And exhale, slowly push all the way back into your first downward facing dog. Trying to find length in your spine, maybe keeping the knees bent here, really pushing the tailbone up towards the sky, pressing the hands strong into the mat. From here, you can also move your hips a little bit. Once again, I invite you to find what feels good for your body today. Maybe it's more stillness, maybe it's more movement. And slowly, once you're ready, just place your feet strong into the ground. Maybe release the heels a little bit closer towards the floor. Trying to keep the shoulders open, trying to keep the spine long. And from here, slowly start to lift your right leg up towards the sky. Bend that knee and start to make big circles with the right hip. Change direction here. Try to keep the balance between both hands. And slowly find your way back to stillness. Lift the right leg all the way up. Try to keep your hips square here. Next exhale, bend that right knee. Take it close towards the chest and hold. Inhale, we push all the way back. Exhale, we take that knee towards the chest. Inhale, we push back. Exhale, we hold. 2 more times here. Inhale, we push back. Exhale, we come close. Inhale, we push back. And exhale, step the right foot in between both hands and release the back knee down towards the ground. Flip the toes. Next inhale, both arms come up towards the sky. We allow our hips to sink down here. We find length. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, we reach up. Exhale, with strength, we open up. Deep inhale, we rise. And exhale, we open ourselves up to those new opportunities. Inhale and exhale. Last inhale, we rise. Exhale, we take both hands in front of our heart and gently place our left elbow in front of us. Trying to get our chest in front of our fingers. Just breathing into that twist here. Slow breath here. Deep breath. Option to also tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee off the ground, trying to keep the hips square here. And just breathe into that twist. That twist that allows us to let go of anything that we no longer need, anything that no longer serves us, so that we can make space for anything new that we want to invite into our lives for this year of 2025. From here, slowly coming all the way back to center, all the way up into your high lunge, and releasing the back foot 45 degrees, coming into your warrior one. Option to stay here, option to interlace the fingers, pointing the index fingers up towards the sky. Find that direction. Trying to square the hips once again. Slow breath here. Exhale, slowly start to lengthen that front leg and come into your variation of the pyramid pose, pointing forward with your fingers, with your index fingers. Really pulling that right hip towards the back, pushing strong into the ground with both feet, finding length in the spine here. Exhale, slowly release both hands down onto the ground, bend the front knee and step back, downward facing dog. Using this pose to realign ourselves, to connect to our breath again. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths in your own pace. Just use this pose to fully align with yourself again. Inhale, we round, we come into our plank. Exhale, option to lower the knees down or option to keep them up for an extra challenge. Chaturanga, transitioning into either cobra or upward facing dog, lifting the knees off the ground, engaging the core. Exhale, we push back to downward facing dog. Slowly coming towards the other side here. Start to lift the left leg up towards the sky. Bend that knee. And we're gonna make our big circles here again on the left side. Trying to really use that full range of motion, changing directions. Warming up the hip joint. From here, finding extension again. Exhale, we bend the knee, we come forward, we hold. Inhale, we push back and find length. Exhale, we find strength. Inhale, we find length. Couple more times like this. Really feeling that transition in your body, that play of the muscles, of the tendons. One last time. We push back. Next time you're in the front, step with your left foot in between the hands, lower the back knee down, flip the back toes. Inhale, we come up, low lunge. Once again, finding that length, allowing the hips to sink down here, maybe even look up. And exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we find that strength. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, we open ourselves up. A few more times like this. Last time. From here, we're going to take our hands in front of our heart. Once again, finding that twist. Deep inhale here, finding length. Exhale, taking the right elbow onto the left knee. Breathing into the belly here. Trying to get the chest in front of our hands as much as we can. Option to stay here, option to take that back knee off the ground. Pushing strong into our back foot. Once again, letting go of anything that no longer serves us. Really allowing that body to create the space. Last breath here. Slowly coming all the way back to center. High lunge. Option to stay here, option to interlace the hands above your head, finding that index finger. Finding that strength. Transitioning into warrior one, back foot aligns 45 degrees. Trying to keep the front knee bent above the ankle. One last breath here. And from that warrior position, we slowly lengthen the front leg, reach towards the front, pulling the left hip towards the back. Deep breath here, slow breath. Pushing with both feet into the ground, maybe even making that separate movement, trying to pull them apart to find more stability. Keeping the core engaged. Last breath here. Exhale, release the hands down, bend the front knee, step back. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths here. Next inhale, we round ourselves towards the front into plank position, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, push back, down dog. Next inhale, right leg reaches up towards the sky again. We're gonna bend that knee, make one big circle into every direction. Once you're ready, extend the right leg up again. Come all the way towards the front. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, we push. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, we find that strength. One more time. Coming all the way towards the front. And from here we step in between both hands, release the back knee down again. Coming all the way up. Open up one time. And then slowly coming back into that twist. Maybe lifting that back knee off again. Slow breath here. Deep breath. Or maybe slowly come all the way back up. High lunge. Transitioning into our warrior one. Slow breath here. And then coming into our pyramid pose, finding that index finger once again, reaching forward, pulling the right hip towards the back. Slow breath here. Deep breath. This time we're going to bend our front knee, come all the way back up. And from here we're going to twist to open up that back foot. Just going to turn around so you see a little bit better. So we are in a warrior 2. And from here we're going to bend that front knee, stay in that warrior 2, but with our arms up. Exhale, we're going to lengthen the front leg, turn our back heel in a little bit, and come all the way down into our half squat. Inhale, we raise all the way up. Warrior 2. Exhale, we bend. You can go as high or as slow as you feel like it's good for you today. One more time, we come up. And exhale, we lower down. Try to find a position where you can stay for a little bit. If it's very tricky, feel free to put a block underneath your bum. And just really push against that knee. Try to find that openness in the hip. Option to stay like this, option to open up, look up. From here, finding that strength, pushing all the way back up, warrior 2, one more time. Then turning towards the front, lowering the hands down, step back, plank pose. From here, we're gonna come towards the back with our hips and jump towards the front, finding our Malasana squat. Once again, option to come up higher. Try to really keep your body engaged here, keep the abs, the pelvic floor engaged in this position. Slow breath here. And from here, we're gonna play a little bit with our crow pose. So for that, if you wanna join me, You can stay here if you like. Otherwise, place your hands in front of you, about shoulder width apart. And just start to lift your hips up. Maybe place your feet a little bit more behind. And then just slowly start to push your knees towards the upper arms. And just try to put a little bit of weight here without lifting the feet off just yet. Try to look towards the front, bend the elbows a little bit. And then if you like, and you feel comfortable, you can start to lift one leg off. Just play with that for a little bit. Or maybe if you already played with crow pose beforehand, you can come into full crow with me, lifting both feet off the ground, looking towards the front, finding that engagement in the core here. Slow breath, deep breath. Trying to stay here for one more breath. And then slowly placing your feet all the way back down, coming back into that Malasana squat. Great job. Maybe rolling out the wrists a little bit. You can also always use the blocks for this exercise. Just place the blocks underneath your hands, and then it becomes a little bit easier to push yourself off the ground. On your next inhale, push your feet strong into the mat, come all the way back up to standing into our mountain pose. Exhale, hands in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart space. Close your eyes here for a second. And just tune in with yourself here. Find some grounding, some stability within yourself. Find that trust within yourself. Trusting that you can lift your own weight. Trusting that you can do whatever you set your mind to. Maybe not like this, but with time, with practice, with consistency. Just breathing into that one more time. Just gonna go back to the front of the mat. So I'm with you guys again. Deep inhale, we reach up our arms. Exhale, we bow down. You can keep your knees bent if you like. Inhale, we find length. And exhale, we step or we hop back into our plank pose, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Finding that stability again. Finding that length in the spine. Taking one deep breath here. And once you're ready, start to lift the left leg up towards the sky. Come into your three-legged dog. Make one big circle in one direction, one big circle in the other direction. And slowly find that length again. Exhale, knee comes to chest. Inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, we move forward. Inhale, we reach. 2 more times. We reach up. And last time we're gonna stay here. Put that foot in between our hands. Release the back knee down, reach up. Allow the hips to drop down here. Just one time we open up the heart space. Inhale, we reach up. Place both hands in front of the heart and come into our twist again. Finding that length. Maybe lift the back knee off the ground for a little bit more stability, more balance. One more deep breath here. Slow breath. Come all the way back to center. Reach both arms up towards the sky. Come back into your warrior one here. Pyramid pose. We lengthen the front leg. We reach towards the front. We pull the left hip towards the back. Deep inhale here. Deep exhale. From here, slowly come all the way up Turn towards the front, come into your warrior two, back heel aligns with the short edge of the mat. Come into your warrior two, front knee pushes towards the front. And exhale, we're gonna come into our half malasana, turning the back heel of the right foot a little bit in, coming all the way down. I'm gonna do this a couple of times, warrior two, and malasana half squat. 2 more times. Finding that balance, finding that strength, that sense of direction. And once you're here, stay down here. Once again, options to come up higher, to come up lower. Just find your place for this half malasana now. The knee points up towards the sky. We try to keep the chest proud here. Option to open up the arm, open up the chest. Slow breath here. Deep breath. Once you're ready, come all the way back. Push strong into the ground. Warrior two. Deep breath here. Slow breath. From here, we're gonna lift back heel up. Release both hands down and step back into plank. We push our hips towards the back and come back into our malasana. Finding that length in our back, allowing the tailbone to sink down here, the head to rise up, the chest is proud. Option to stay here, or option to play with me into that crow pose again. This time I'm going to show with the blocks. Once again, make sure that the hands are more or less in shoulder width. And then slowly place your hands onto that block or onto the ground. Start to shift your weight a little bit towards the front. See how I look towards the front of the mat. Maybe a little bit behind the front of the mat. And then I start to lift one foot, the other foot, maybe both feet. Just find that balance here. Find that engagement of the core. Find that trust within yourself. That strength. And once you're ready, you can slowly release both feet back down onto the ground. Great job. Placing both blocks on the side again if you use them. And just allowing for a little bit of movement in the wrists. Finding that strength to push yourself all the way up. And slowly come back into your mountain pose. Arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, Anjali Mudra. Close your eyes. Tune in with your heartbeat here again. Tune in with yourself. How is your body feeling right now? How are you feeling right now? Deep inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, release, downward, forward fold. Deep inhale, halfway. Exhale, step or jump back. Chaturanga. Inhale. Upward facing dog. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Taking one last deep breath here. Slow breath. Start to lift the right leg off the ground. Reach up. From here, we're going to bend our knee. Make our big circle. One direction. Other direction. Find length and exhale. Knee comes towards the chest. Inhale, we find length. Exhale, we find strength. I'm going to do this one more time. And the next time that you're in the front, you have the option to stay here and just stay like this. You have the option for another balance pose here. So you can also come down, bend your knees, take that take the right knee against the upper arm of the right arm. Start to come down here, maybe stay like this, Or maybe lift that back leg off. Coming all the way back. Reach all the way up. And step in between both hands. Low lunge. Exhale, we open up. Inhale, we reach up. Come into our twist. Deep breath here. Option to stay here, option to lengthen the leg. Finding that heat in the body all the way towards the front. Deep inhale, come into your warrior one. Exhale, we come into our pyramid pose. Slow breath here. Deep breath. And from here, we're slowly going to release our hands down onto the ground. Option to also take a block onto the outside of your right foot. Taking the left hand onto that block or onto the ground. On each setting, whatever feels good for you. Trying to keep that back foot strong in the ground. Keep the hips aligned, pulling the right hip towards the back. And then exhale, slowly pulling up with the elbow. All the way up to extension into your twisted triangle pose. You can also look towards the front or maybe even up towards the sky. If that's within your practice. And just breathe into that advanced asana here. Finding the balance, the strength, the trust within yourself. Letting go of anything that you no longer need. Creating space for new beginnings. Slowly bend the front knee, come all the way up. Warrior one. Slow breath here. And release both hands down onto the ground. Taking both hands onto the inside, place the right foot a little bit more towards the outside of your mat. You can stay here. Release the back knee down if you like. Feeling that opening of the hip. Deep breath. You can also come onto your forearm here. You can also use the blocks underneath the forearms. Just try to keep the spine as long as possible. Slowly come all the way back up to your hands. Lift the back knee off the ground, step back. Downward facing dog. I'm going to round our spine, come into plank position. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, down dog. Deep breath here. Find that length in your spine. Allow the chest to sink down towards the thighs. And get ready for that other side that we still have in our flow. Deep inhale, left leg reaches up. One circle in one direction. One big circle in the other direction. Exhale, find that length. Deep inhale here. Next exhale, we come towards the front, knee to chest. Inhale, we find length. Exhale, we engage. One more time like this. And the next time that we're in the front, we're gonna stay there and either just hold, or if you want, can come into that balance pose with me again, taking that left knee towards the upper arm, slowly bending the elbows, shifting forward, either staying here or lifting that back leg off. Slowly releasing all the way back down. Find extension and step that left foot in between both hands, releasing the left leg at the right knee down. Deep breath here, slow breath. Exhale, we open up. Inhale, find length, and come into your twist. Back knee can come up high if you like. One deep breath here. Transitioning into that warrior one. Back foot releases down, left hip pushes back. And coming into our pyramid pose here, pulling the left hip towards the back, finding that pulling between the feet into opposite directions. And from here, slowly releasing our hands down onto the ground. Once again, option to take a block, whatever you have, onto that outside of the left foot, placing the right hand on top. And then once you're ready, slowly leading with the left elbow up, finding that length, finding that twist in our twisted triangle pose, twisted trikonasana. Maybe looking towards the front or even up towards the sky, finding that sweet balance between stability and challenge, between trust and that little leap within yourself. Slowly bending that front knee, coming all the way back up, and then releasing both hands down onto the ground, taking that left foot towards the outside of the mat. Chest is proud, we look towards the front. Option to release the back knee down. Stay here, or maybe even come down onto the elbows to deepen that stretch in your hips, that opening. Slow breath here, deep breath. Really feeling that release. One more deep breath here. Gently place both hands down onto the ground again. Lift the back knee off the mat. Step back and come into your down dog. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Find that length. Find that strength. And from here, slowly come down onto the ground with your knees. Push back, child's pose. Balasana. You can rest your forehead on the ground. Find that length. Find that rest, that stillness. Because I think one thing that we sometimes forget is with a new year, with a new intention, with a new beginning, we're like, oh, I want to do this and that and that. And we somehow just forget to be kind to ourselves, to take rests in between, to allow ourselves to come back to the simple. Always finding that balance, trying to find that balance between moving forward, between allowing change, allowing development to come, to make us stronger, to make us different. But also allowing us to come back to that safe space, to come back of that trust within. And that pause of not needing to be or do anything or anywhere. Sometimes just resting and breathing is enough. In your next inhale, slowly come all the way back up into all fours. Cross your legs and come into seated position with me. We've done a lot of strength in our core today, and we're going to finish off with another core strengthening exercise to keep that area protected, that fire within us burning. So for that, we're going to go into our Savasana, into our boat pose. You can stay here, or you can place your hands behind you if you need a little bit more balance. Try to really keep that back long and strong, and start to lift your feet off the ground here. You can stay like this, or you can even extend both legs for an extra challenge while keeping the chest proud, finding that balance. Last breath here, and slowly come all the way back down. You can take that left foot and place it right next to your right hip. Take that right foot either just in front of you or across, finding length here. Exhale, placing the right hand towards the back, coming into a twist. All the way back to center. Changing legs, right leg comes underneath, left leg above. Deep inhale and twist. Coming all the way back to center. Taking both feet in front of us and slowly, vertebra by vertebra, lowering down onto the ground, onto the mat. Both feet come closer towards the hips. Next exhale, we lift the hips up. Come into our half bridge here. Opening up that front side again. After all that strength, stability, all the twists. We've created that space now. Now it's time to open up that space. Welcome in. The things that we need, the things that are meant to come our way. Just being open to whatever change is about to happen. Exhale, lower all the way back down onto the ground. We're going to come up one more time. Vertebra by vertebra, lifting up. If you want, you can also interlace your hands underneath, really pushing yourself up here, pushing the feet strong into the mat. Finding that length in the neck. Exhale, release the hands if you had a bind. And gently release all the way back down. You can come with your knees towards the chest. Maybe rock a little bit from side to side. Give that lower back a massage. Give yourself that hug. Show yourself that compassion, that love. And once you're ready, you can come into the final position, into your Savasana, just releasing the hands, the feet, every single limb, every single muscle, releasing it down towards the ground, allowing it to sink down into the ground. Just coming into that final position, the corpse pose. And just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Allowing everything that we worked through today to sink down into the ground. Anything that we no longer need, that we detoxify today, can sink down into the ground. And I invite you to imagine a small white light at the center of your chest. With every breath, you can feel that light expanding, shining brighter and brighter, flowing through the body, through every single cell of your body. Creating lightness, creating space for the positive, shining light into every single dark corner that might be left in your body. And then slowly, with every breath, allowing that light to become smaller again. Find a way back towards the center of your heart space, of the chest. Come back to that safe space, that trust, and know that that white light within yourself is always there. It's never going to leave, even if it's sometimes hard to see. We always carry it within ourselves. Slowly start to deepen your breath here again. Move the fingers and the toes. Find some circles, maybe in your wrists and your ankles, or maybe a long stretch above the head. Just move in a way that feels good for you right now. And then once you're ready, you can roll to one side. Come all the way back up to seated position. And just take one last breath together. Deep inhale, we lengthen the spine. We reach our hands up towards the sky. We imagine that positive energy, anything that's supposed to come our ways, to come through the hands. And the hands are always connected to our heart. So it comes all the way down towards the heart space in our Anjali Mudra. We embrace everything that we are, everything that we were, everything that we're gonna be. We accept it. And with that, you can slowly bow down if you like. Thank yourself for taking time today to go through this practice on the mat. I'm very, very grateful that you decided to join me, that you decided to go through this journey with me. With that, I say namaste, and I hope to see you sometime soon.